If you're here just to watch our full review of How to Train Your Dragon 2025, you can skip ahead, check the show notes, and there's some clicky buttons. So you can jump right there. You can almost time travel, but stick around because there is some fun reviews of all kinds of other things that we've been watching in the past week. And I don't think you want to miss that. Welcome back. My name is Kit.
I'm Annie.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things, streaming How to Train Your Dragon, the iconic family movie of perhaps the century, directed by Dean DeBlois, starring a Gerard Butler with a great performance, one of the cutest dragons of all time. Toothless. Incredible movie. I am, of course, talking about the 2010 version, however. Mm-hmm. We're going to be talking about the 2025 version today. We just saw the live action remake.
Does it hold up? Does it justify its experience? Find out this and more.
We'll be talking about a later spoiler free in the front portion, and then we'll do a complete spoiler filled deep dive of the film. But before that, we're going to talk about some other things that we've been checking out, streaming. Crossing streams is what we call that. Other things we've been streaming, even though everything I'm talking about is in theaters as well, except for one thing.
Streaming it into your eyeballs.
Crossing streams is more of a vibe.
Well, most movies that go to the theater, you can technically rent them at home for like $20.
Or you could pirate them.
And
stream them that way on Pirate Bay.
If you were like, I want to see the new movie as if it were seen through the view of an old XD camera. Give me that.
I think most pirating nowadays is pretty good quality.
Is it?
I don't know.
I haven't lived the pirate life for some time.
I don't know either.
I'm literally not tech savvy enough to care. It's a necessary part of society. There are times when the movie's just unavailable, like Dogma for the longest time. I mean, it was on YouTube, sanctioned by Kevin Smith himself, but that's technically not what Miramax wanted you to do. Strange Days for the longest time is a movie you couldn't find. Dawn of the Dead from 1978 until recently, you just couldn't find it anywhere. There is art that you just can't watch legally in any form, and so it's a preservation tactic at that point.
I've always thought like the best way to curb
your enthusiasm.
Piracy. You can't no. The best way to curb piracy is just to make things easier for people to have access to. Like I know me personally, like my piracy inclinations dipped down when as streaming became more popular, and you can find almost everything you want to look for. Just like, let me look, is on this one? Oh, it is. Cool. Yeah. I don't have to pirate it.
I like watching things, not just supporting the artists, which I do. But you don't always want to support the artist. Like go ahead and pirate Annie Hall. You know what I mean? But I do think I enjoy the money going to the people that made it. But also I like good quality. Good Dolby sound when possible. The bonus features, the special features, that kind of stuff.
Just ease of access.
But I'll rent a movie that I own upstairs. I just don't want to walk upstairs. That's how fucking. Not that I'm rich. I'm just dumb.
You forgot you owned it?
Not even forgot. I'll be like, you want to watch?
Dumb with money.
Is it worth $3 for me to not move upstairs and grab it and come back downstairs?
I'm kind of disgusted how often I do that. $3.99 to watch The Hunger Games, even though I own the 4K Steelbook box set. Boop. Yep. Scan my thumbprint, done. It's also partially because the whole setup's different. Maybe I want to use my Air Max headphones, so I have to stream through the Apple TV. And if I put in the Blu-ray into the PlayStation,
you don't get that.
I don't have that option. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
It's a whole thing. But anyway, I do that a lot. I'm not proud of it. But we're going to talk about some other things we've been streaming. Cross some of them streams, and then we'll do the How to Train Your Dragon live action remake review. Even if you haven't seen the movie yet, spoiler alert, if you've seen the original, you can still listen. But we got a spoiler-free section. Let's do it then. You guys ready for this? Happy Father's Day, by the way.
Happy Father's Day
Daddy.
to all you daddies.
That's right. And you as well.
Thank you.
You as well. That's as we're recording this, it's Father's Day. You're hearing this on a Monday. Post Father's Day clarity.
Post Father's Day clarity. Before we get into Crossing Streams, though, there is one thing we have to address. And some people were messaging me like, hey, Crossing Streams is back. Where's that Crossing Streams music?
Hey, I like that tune.
And it's right here.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. I loved hearing that.
Now the segment can begin.
So you were all cunty in the Discord for no reason? You planned on putting it in?
I just like being cunty.
He's like, it's my show.
I do what I want. That's what I just said.
We're playing bagpipes next time. Suck it.
Yeah.
What's another shitty instrument?
Kazoo. It's all kazoos.
Yeah. What's the one with accordion?
Oh, and yeah.
It's a great instrument.
You know,
Shut your mouth.
It's best in small doses and only used by a very few can make it cool, you know?
That's fair.
Like Weird Al, and that's it.
Or that one guy from the Lady and the Tramp.
That's a deep cut.
Who serenaded them while they ate the spaghetti? Who could forget that generational talent?
Ricardo.
I finally get to play my accordion for the puppies.
I love it for babies. Andy, what's something that you've been streaming?
Okay, so something I've been streaming recently was recommended to me from a guy at work. It's called In the Flesh. Are you guys familiar with this?
Not
It
at
sounds
the top of my
salacious,
noggin.
but it's not.
Sounds like an erotic.
In the flesh.
So In the Flesh is a zombie drama. It's a British show. It originally aired on the BBC in 2013. It's streamable on Amazon Prime. I'll start by saying the British are so good at doing the thing and doing it well and letting it be done when it's done. And I say that because this season 1 is only 3 episodes. Each one's like an hour long. And it's just like the perfect amount of story that you needed to get in and get out and have it be done. I think of like Fleabag. There's 2 seasons. Each season only has like 6 or 7 episodes. And it's perfect. It is such a good show. They ended the show on a beautiful high note and they let dogs lie. In the Flesh is about post-zombie apocalypse when they found a cure. And the story primarily takes place from the point of view of Kier, who is a young lad who
the chosen one
suffers from
Praise
from what they call partially deceased syndrome, is what they call it now.
The tempers.
But he is
PDS?
a zombie, and they cured him. He is still very much a corpse. He doesn't eat. He wears makeup to cover up his rotted flesh, but he has all of his personality back. And he even has memories of the things that he did when he was a zombie. And so he kind of has PTSD from having...
His PDS.
From his PDS. Yeah, PTSD. He ate some people and he feels really bad about that. But this is all about... It's very much a political drama. It's about reintegration into society with in a small town where the... the local militia was basically abandoned by the government during this big outbreak. The government's like, you're on your own. And now the government's like, well, we cured it, so you need to let these people back in. And they have to take medicine on the regular to suppress their zombie urges and stuff. But there's also like a underground resistance of PDS sufferers who are like, no, this is natural and we deserve to be who we are too. Almost like an I Am Legend kind of thing. It is fantastic. It is so good. It's very British, which is to say there's a lot of beans and toast floating around and stuff. But no, you know what I mean when I say British. It's just
Do they have a fun British slang for zombies?
They do. They call them rotters.
What is it?
Rotters. Rotters.
It's a rotter. I love it.
It is a phenomenal show. There's a second season.
It's ratings.
Haven't started. Yes, it is ratings. It's maths.
No.
Is that the opposite of ratings? Is maths?
It's really, really good, man. It's got some fun twists and turns and fantastic character development. It is extremely low budget, but they do such a good job with what little they had. And I highly recommend people check it out. Again, it's on Amazon Prime, In the Flesh.
It does sound cool.
Mm-hmm.
Steve?
Sounds quite fun. I've been streaming a show on Apple TV Plus that actually just wrapped up its first season not too long ago, and that is The Studio. Created by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, Apple TV Plus describes the show as Seth Rogen stars as this new appointed head of a movie studio, Matt Remick. Desperate for celebrity approval, he and his executive team at Continental Studios must juggle corporate demands with creative ambitions as they try to keep movies alive and relevant. And that is like a fun way to say what really the show is about. And just Seth Rogen as the guy is just really wants movie actors and directors to like him. And he's like a huge cinephile, but he's put in charge of this studio that wants to make movies like the Kool-Aid movie and shit like that. And just like how this love of cinema mixed with the corporatization of movies sort of can butt heads and be completely at odds at all times. But sometimes that friction can work out and make gold. Other times that friction just falls apart and everyone hates each other.
It feels very fitting for you to bring that up during this episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It is a great show. I highly recommend it. It stars, like I said, Seth Rogen. Ike Barinholtz is in it, and he's hilarious in the show. The Queen herself, Catherine O'Hara, love her to death. Catherine Hahn's also in this, and Catherine Hahn's hilarious, and every time she pops up. Chase Sue Wonders is like, I was unfamiliar with her work, but she plays Quinn, the younger exec on the team who's recently promoted, and she just wants to have a chance to make her films. And Bryan Cranston plays the really old owner of the studio that just like, you gotta make Kool-Aid, man. And he looks like he just came out of this. He hasn't like moved on from the 70s, and it's hysterical. But it also is like chock to the gills with cameo after cameo of actors and directors playing themselves and being in situation. Like there's a really great episode that centers around Ron Howard and Anthony Mackie in Ron Howard's movie. And like the whole thing is like they want to give Ron Howard a note on his movie, but they're worried about upsetting him because Ron Howard is the nicest man in Hollywood. And it's just them. I can't say that to Ron Howard. He's so nice. And
He's Opie.
Yeah, they want to cut like 30 minutes of it out.
yeah.
But he's like, it's really deeply personal to him about his dead cousin or something like that.
Yeah.
And so they're all arguing like, you give him the note. It's his fucking dead cousin. But that part of the movie sucks. Oh yeah, it sucks. And if you are a fan of like movies at all and you know anything about how they're made or the history of them, then there's so much extra layers of wonder to that show. Mm-hmm. There's like Chinatown references and cool things like that. But there's a great episode called The Oner.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
That is an actual oner. Mm-hmm. And Andy, you have to watch this show because it's brilliant. That
Andy would love it because a lot of the humor is based around people being like, so it's so
there's
awkward.
A lot of secondhand embarrassment.
So much secondhand embarrassment. Like The Oner, it's great because Seth Rogen's character and Ike Barinholtz's character are going to this movie set that they're producing, and the movie set is in the middle of getting ready to film this Oner.
A golden hour Oner.
Golden hour Oner. So they only have like 2 opportunities to shoot it. But Seth Rogen's character is so bumbling and so like, I just want to make people like me. He ends up like causing complications on the set constantly. But the whole episode is meta and it's shot as a Oner in and of itself. And it's like brilliant. It's so well done.
And it's at golden hour.
Yeah.
So they fucking did it. Mm-hmm. It's really cool because the sun's down when he leaves that set. And so that means that they did that Oner at golden. It's great, dude.
That's awesome.
But it's so great. If you love movies, you're going to really appreciate the show. I am a little worried that if you're not really into like movie history, like some of the jokes might be too inside baseball for you, or you may not get out of it as much, but I really still recommend it because not only is the Oner great, the Ron Howard episode's fantastic. The last 3 episodes are hilarious. And I think there's a couple cameos that like certain fans of our show, streaming things, are going to really appreciate. Like the Golden Globes episode has a cameo with an actor from a show that we love that is so fantastic. And it's just a really great time. I highly recommend it. Apple TV Plus, the studio.
Great suggestion, Steve. Part of the problem with like watching some TV shows early and stuff that are released weekly, like I saw the studio. Now I promise this isn't me being a douchebag, but like I watched the studio months ago, right? Like just binged all of it. And it's like, oh, that's cool. But now that it's like wrapping up and the last episode's dropping, a couple of weeks ago or whatever it was, everyone's thinking about it, and I forgot. I'm like, oh, that show came out forever ago. But like you missed that weekly
of the
conversation,
water cooler moments.
But that's a great suggestion. What a great show.
You would love it, Andy.
I have to watch it. I will.
I'm going to bring it back to the British.
The British.
Back to the British. Well, sort of. I mean, it's a lot of Scottish, but it is a British production. But anywho, it's the Great British. This is a show called Department Q that came out a couple of weeks ago on Netflix. Both of you would love this show because it's very David Tennant coded, even though he's not in it. He should have been. I mean, Matthew Good is the star, and he's great. He played.
No, he's good.
Ozymandias.
Yes, he played Ozymandias in Watchmen. He was in The Good Wife, I think. Gilmore Girls or one of those. You know, he's that guy. But
we know Matthew
he's
Good.
fantastic. But this is a show. He's a detective, so it's a mystery noir type show. And he's like an asshole, a super arrogant, anti. He's not a misogynist, not a misandrist. He's a misanthrope. He doesn't like people equally. So he's like this super pissed off, arrogant misanthrope, who is supposedly really good at his job, like a prodigy, like a genius. But you don't really see it a whole lot. So it can be grating at times because he's such an asshole and you don't really see him doing like any amazing detective stuff very often. So have you ever seen House?
The show?
Yeah. House MD.
Yeah.
That show's great, right? And he's a piece of shit, but he's like a really fucking good doctor. And so it balances it. Or like Sherlock. It's not super great with people, but he's fucking Sherlock Holmes. But you don't get that effect. You're like, he's just an asshole is what it seems like at times. But it's still really entertaining. He does have like a helper named Akram, who's like a guy from Syria that has a mysterious past. I won't spoil, but he's actually really good at detecting and interviewing people. And he's like a really sweet guy. And so Akram's my favorite character. But they formulate this department called Department Q, which is specifically meant to reopen cold cases and solve them. And really, the owner, the police chief, is just getting him out of the way. The police chief, by the way, is Liza Aaron. So it's really interesting. And also Moaning Myrtle is a pretty big character in this show.
Let's get it. Let's get them all.
She's just in the bathroom all the time and they go talk to her.
I have a hot scoop.
And so, but she's just like getting him and putting him in the basement.
It was a basilisk.
Work on these cold cases, and they actually try to solve them though. And that's so it's based on a book, and that was also apparently made into a series of movies. And they're Danish books, so most of the stories take place in like Copenhagen and stuff normally. So they transplanted it to Britain for the TV show, but his name's still Detective Mork, which I assume is a Danish name. Anyway, really great show.
Is
really,
there a Mindy?
No, just Mork. Oh. It's a prequel. Really great show. I highly recommend it. I think both of you will like it because again, it does have that like cunty David Tennant attitude to it. They say fuck constantly because it's British as hell and it's not even that bad of a word, and it's really interesting, I think, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. A lot of people love this show, and as they should. It's really well made. There's only 9 episodes. The first episode and the last are like feature film length. They're like 80 minutes because it's British. They just do whatever the fuck they want. But if you make it to the end of the first episode and you don't want to watch more, I would be highly surprised. Now, around 30 minutes in, you're going to be thinking, I'm not so sure about this recommendation. But at the end, they do a thing. Structurally, that's really clever that you will both love. And the characters are really fun and pretty satisfying mystery solution type shit, too.
Well, where did you say it was streaming?
It's on Netflix. So it's easy peasy. It's called Department Q. Andy, what else you got?
Love that. Pretty recently, I took a trip to the movie theater for something that wasn't for the podcast. And I don't get to do that very often.
What?
So
You're allowed to do that?
Every once in a while,
Can he do that?
No.
I went and saw Final Destination Bloodlines.
The twist is he just did it to have a Crossing Streams thing.
Are you guys fans of the series?
Everybody is. It's a cultural touchstone,
Yeah,
you know?
I feel like especially Final Destination 2 back in the day, we all were scarred once upon a time when we saw the big car wreck on the highway and the logs flying through.
Which is actually like the third one, isn't it?
That's 2. Which up until very recently was the best one. Now, some people will argue that either the first or the third are better than 2, but they are wrong.
Well, that's the thing.
Destination 2 is the best one.
There were 5, correct?
Yes.
I've probably seen all 5, but I only remember the first 2.
Yeah, and rightfully so. You might also remember 3 with the roller coaster and stuff. That one had some pretty iconic stuff. So typically the structure is that there's a big thing at the beginning and lots of people die. And then there's a flashback and we're like, oh, wait, hang on.
Don't do that.
We shouldn't do this. And then
we want to kill you twice.
Death has to get its due. And so it comes through and kills the people that shouldn't have survived the thing. This has a fun twist on that where it is a generational. A lot of people were saved a long time ago, and now all these families are fucked in the future.
Because a whole bloodline shouldn't exist.
Exactly.
Hence,
yes.
Final Destination Bloodlines.
Totally.
That's a fun little spin on it.
It is a good way to do a legacy sequel. I heard this movie's great.
It is great.
Is there ever any, since I don't remember the 3, 4, and 5, and I haven't seen this one, is there ever any lore explanation as to why certain people are given this premonition? That clearly
Not
never
really.
It's just a random movie setup thing.
Yeah. Very much just
Death is
a
bad at his job.
I fucked up again.
Ah, shit.
Or maybe
is
Death
kind of
has like a cousin, like Fate, who's like fucking with him a little bit. Ooh, they got away.
Dear Devin Sawa,
My favorite show's on.
don't get on plane.
So I will say that the opening sequence is not as good as some of the others in the movies, like the big car wreck at the beginning or the plane crash in the first one.
I mean, the
train,
the car wreck and the plane is like so iconic.
Yeah, totally. This opening is like kind of like a equivalent to the Seattle Space Needle and things going awry there. It's still very good, but not as good as some of those. But everything that comes after, like they know that you've seen all of these movies before. And so they do such a good job of setting things up and playing with your expectations in a really fun and interesting way.
Is it just like tickling your senses in that Rube Goldberg way where like, oop, that little bottle is going to fall over. Is it going to fall?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it wasn't that one. It was,
Exactly.
it was the spork over there.
Exactly. But they do it in such a great way. There's one particular sequence that happens just walking along a sidewalk and you see all these things that could happen and they kind of get pointed out. I don't want to spoil the sequence because it is the best sequence in the movie by a fucking mile. It's so satisfying. The special effects on the deaths are fucking gruesome. Like they're so good. This movie fucking rocks. Like the Final Destination movies have never been good movies, but they've been a good time. And I think that holds true for this, but this one also, in addition to being not just a good time, but a great time, it is also kind of a good movie. And like that is super
Such high praise.
Put that on the box art.
Super high praise for
It's
a Final
also
Destination
kind of a
movie.
good movie.
The bar is so low for these movies and they eked over it. They're like the French guy at the Olympics, like they hit their sack on it on the way over, but
that
they
happens
still
to me
made it
all the
over,
time.
you know? Yeah,
I
Final
can count
Destination.
the amount of times my big dick cost me the gold.
You'd have one nickel. It's weird it happened twice.
Why'd you throw money in?
I don't know.
By the way, I just
wanna see that
realized
dick.
your shirt rocks.
Oh, thanks, man. It's Ghostface.
I've been wanting to see this for a long time. It came out when I was at Cannes and I missed it. I just haven't been able to get to the theater to catch up because every time I can go is like new stuff I need to cover. So this movie hits VOD and as you're listening to this tomorrow, and I'm finally going to watch Bloodlines and I'm super hyped.
Fuck
so,
yeah.
Nice.
It's a good time.
Hell yeah.
Steve, what else you got? Lay it upon me. Put it on my forehead.
Here we go. Get ready. My next show comes from Apple TV Plus as well.
We are not being paid.
We are not, no. But I just like saying Plus. It is a little show based on Marta Wells' The Murderbot Diaries. It is a show called Murderbot.
Oh, you watched that?
I did.
Is it good?
It's fine.
Okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. The weird thing about the show, so if you don't know what the show is, like Apple TV Plus describes it in a high-tech future, a rogue security robot played by Alexander Skarsgård secretly gains free will to stay hidden. It reluctantly joins a new mission protecting scientists on a dangerous planet, even though it just wants to binge TV, which, relatable, am I right, guys? I also just want to binge TV. It's like I said, it stars Alexander Skarsgård, but also has David Dasmalchian, like favorite of the pod.
Yeah.
We love David Dasmalchian here. Noam, I'm going to mispronounce their name. Noam Dumezweni. They play the lead scientist that's sort of in charge.
Yeah,
of
they're great.
It is a fun show. I think if you're a huge sci-fi nerd and you like robots and all that kind of stuff, I think you're going to have something you can enjoy here. You're going to have a good time. If you're not super into sci-fi, I feel like you might watch like the first episode and be like, I'm out. There's a weird disconnect where Alexander Skarsgård, I think, has, I don't know, it's weird. Maybe he has the voice down, like, because in some ways he's so perfect for this role, but in other ways he's the exact opposite I would want in a role like this. It just, there's a weird disconnect there. And I think, and it all stems from him because so much of the show is him standing in a room, watching the other characters interplay, and then you hear his inner monologue, like, they're all being really dumb. I just want to sit here and watch TV. They're interrupting my show. Ugh. And there's some humor to come from that. But it's hard to, I don't know, there's really, you don't really get into the swing of the show for a while. And the episodes are relatively short. They're like 25 minutes long each. Yeah. And there's a weird, the other characters, like, because there's what, like maybe 7 or 8 scientists on the expedition, because you've seen it, right?
Yeah, like 6 or 7, I think.
All of them are less characters and more just personality quirks. And so it's hard to really sort of like empathize with them unless it's the captain or David Desmalchian's character. He plays a character named Grathan, and he's got implants. So he's
augmented.
He's augmented. So he can like kind of hook up to computers and read them. And then Murderbot, that brings up some good antagonism between the two characters, because Murderbot's like, this guy thinks he's so smart with his implants, but I'm so much better. And then Garatham is suspicious, like, oh, I think our robot has free will and is hiding it from us. And there's also more to his character, where his character is the biggest mystery of the show for me. And I think I'm watching it more because I want to see what goes on with him. A, because I like David Desmalchian, and B, because I do think the character is fascinating. But overall, there's a weird hollowness to the show where it's lacking a certain bit of heart to it. And I don't know, maybe because it's a show about a robot, but for a robot that has like feelings, it does sort of, there's a strange disconnect, I think, between what's happening on screen and what they're trying to get you to feel. Now, again, the show's not out completely. I think it's only has 6 episodes out so far. Or the 7th episode may be out by the time you listen to this. But I think I'm going to keep watching it, but I would say if you're not super into sci-fi, not super into robots, go ahead and pass. But if you like that kind of stuff, you might enjoy something out of it.
I think you hit the nail on the head. It's the setup to the show. The first 10 minutes, they just kind of yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
He has free will now. And I think because it's a book adaptation, a book has interiority and you can stay in the character's mind constantly. And I think this is one of those instances where it's just really not really well suited to adaptation, or not done well in this case, because I think whenever you try to just mimic a novel's interiority by adding voiceover narration lazily, you're going to have some things missed. And that's kind of the case here.
Like they could have, like Fleabag, for instance, there's a lot of meta.
Fuck me up the ass.
Yeah, talking to the camera. You get to hear her inner thoughts, stuff like that. But she's looking to the camera and talking directly to it and breaking the fourth wall.
What is that? I fucking love that. Sorry.
Yeah, like that's a show that does it geniusly. Like you said, this show, it's more lazy. Yeah.
Fleabag's amazing.
Where'd you go just now?
That show is great. Go watch Fleabag.
That's our recommendation.
Yeah, go watch Fleabag.
We should cover Fleabag. I watched a lot of other movies that came out the same day that How to Train Your Dragon Remake came out. And you guys each have one thing left.
Yeah.
I'll pick 2 of them and just talk about them briefly. There is a new, on Apple TV Plus, a new movie streaming called Echo Valley. I don't really recommend, but a lot of people do seem to be enjoying it a lot more than I did. It's a horse girl thriller is how I've been describing it.
Horse girl?
Hello.
Yeah.
It's a woman that is a horse?
No. You don't know what a horse girl is?
No.
Like a girl that likes horses and likes to ride them, and they're obsessed with. They're called horse girls. It's like a whole personality.
Gotcha. I was imagining like a centaur.
It stars. I wish.
Andy, take my hand.
That would have made it more interesting. It stars Julianne Moore, who's like a single mother, and her daughter is Sydney Sweeney. And Sydney Sweeney in the movie is half horse. No, is a drug addict. She's a heroin addict, and she uses her mother all the time. She just shows up and gets money, and she's really manipulative. And Julianne Moore enables her greatly, and she's very codependent, and she gives her whatever she wants. And it can be grating because you're watching Sydney Sweeney's character just use her, and she's so like over the top, dismissive and mean to her mother in her addiction. It also, this is going to sound way cooler than it is, and that's what's kind of disappointing about this movie. It also has Donald Gleason, who's like a local drug dealer.
Hello.
And it has Kyle MacLachlan for like 3 minutes. It's kind of like just like, Ariana, what are you doing here? And I wish they had used Donald Gleason and Kyle MacLachlan specifically a lot more. There are some twists and turns. I wish they had gotten really silly with this movie and gone like full Jason Statham. I don't know how.
I'm not that horse girl anymore.
I'm not on dope anymore. But there's some fun twists and turns. It's kind of a seedy, like, oh, that was fun, but I kind of feel dirty. Like I was folding the laundry and had a good time, but I'm not going to tell anybody I watched it kind of movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not like seedy enough and crazy enough. And like, you don't bring in Kyle MacLachlan and not get fucking weird. What are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think like Eugene Levy could have done that. Where was he busy?
I would rather they have Eugene Levy and they just keep getting weird with it.
I picked another guy that's fun to get weird with, but you know what I mean? Like any old Chad could have done what he did in this movie. He's just like the ex-husband. But yeah, so I was disappointed for that reason, but a lot of people are really digging this movie. It just wasn't super my thing. But I also saw the newest Mike Flanagan movie, The Life of Chuck. And I really, really liked it. It's a Stephen King adaptation. It's based on one of his short stories, but this is like drama / Twilight Zone Stephen King, you know, like Shawshank Redemption kind of stuff.
Gimme.
Not horror Stephen King.
Gimme.
And this movie, of course, stars all of the Mike Flanagan peeps. It's got, of course, Kate Siegel. It's got Rahul Cooley. It's got Samantha Sloyan. It also has...
Bev Keane?
Well, yeah, but it also has a brief cameo from Mike Flanagan himself, which I don't think is typically his thing.
That's fun.
Maybe that's like a Stephen King joke because Stephen King does that a lot. And I know back in the day, like his made-for-TV movies would often have him as like the gas station clerk and stuff. But it also has Chiwetel Ejiofor, and
hell yeah,
he's awesome. And Tom Hiddleston is the star, of course.
Heard of him.
It's hard to describe what this movie's about without ruining it too much, but it does some really interesting things with form and structure. It starts in Act 3 and goes back from there. And so the first 30 minutes of the movie is basically like this apocalypse is happening and you don't know why. It also has Karen Gillan.
Okay.
The world is ending. There's all kinds of natural disasters, and it's Chiwetel Ejiofor and Karen Gillan, kind of their ex-husband and wife coping with the world ending, and it kind of shows and doesn't tell you that the world's ending in a really interesting way. And then it goes back and you start to figure out what they're doing, and the movie becomes this really profound, I think, meditation on the important things in life, and we never know when we're going to die, but it's definitely coming kind of thing. And it's very happy in a bittersweet way, like a La La Land kind of way. Just kind of, I did not see that coming at all. This is one of the beautiful things that I do to myself where I'd never read this short story. I knew it was called The Life of Chuck. I knew it was directed by Mike Flanagan. So I was in and I was done. So I had no idea what it was about or what genre it was or anything. And so it was like a beautiful experience for me personally. A lot of people are calling it a masterpiece. I do think it's kind of rough at times, a little bit of your buddy in college who's a philosophy major smoking a blunt at times. But still, like, it is part masterpiece for sure. I really loved it. If you like Mike Flanagan stuff and you want to watch like 13 monologues just hit hard, then you'll like it.
Sign me up.
Exactly.
Very Midnight Mass.
Yeah, in that way. But yeah, that's The Life of Chuck. I highly recommend it. I'm really excited for everybody else to watch it. Andy,
Midnight Charles.
what's one more thing you've been streaming?
I don't know if this counts as streaming. I'm in trouble a little bit because I bought a Switch 2.
Okay.
I just got married and couldn't really afford a Switch 2, but the pre-orders came up and I got one. I wanted to shout out Mario Kart World. Sarah and I we stayed up way too late last night. I'm very tired today because we were playing Mario Kart World together on the Switch 2. And I have to say, it is fucking fun. It is such a good time.
Is this one of those things where you're convincing yourself
No,
it was
it
worth
is-
the purchase?
So
It was so fun.
It was so good.
in talking about the Switch 2 itself, it is very much just a Switch that has been souped up a little bit as an iterative console. It will be worth it eventually when inevitably some phenomenal Nintendo first-party stuff comes out on it, and that's the only thing that you can play it on. I am the biggest Zelda fan, and I have to have the new Nintendo whenever it comes out because inevitably there's going to be a Zelda and I have to play it. So Sarah should have known that when she said I do.
It's her fault.
Because it's important to me.
She did this.
Yeah, exactly. But no, so Mario Kart World has a new mode in it called Knockout Tour. Are you guys familiar with Fall Guys?
Yes.
The game that came out around 2021.
Oh, I love Fall Guys.
We all took a tumble on Fall Guys.
Yeah,
I
so-
think.
I was, oh man, I would
Champion?
chant, I would chant "Let's get a crown" very often
Yes.
in my household.
So
Did anyone get a crown?
I never got a win on Fall Guys, not
I got
once.
a crown once.
Well,
Gods, I was strong then.
I'm still living on that high of getting that crown.
I got a crown last night in Mario Kart
Against your
Knockout
wife.
Tour. Yes. So Knockout Tour is pretty much Fall Guys except Mario Kart. So a race starts and the map for Mario Kart World is open world. So with this Knockout Tour, they just kind of link to create a path linking together different tracks that are in this big open world. And so it's like you're working your way across this continent in this race. And so the race starts, there's 24 of you at the beginning. And it's like, you need to be in the top 20, go. And it's immediate chaos. You're playing online against a bunch of people and like you can go from first place to last place in a fucking instant.
Oh yeah, it's Mario
Like you're
Kart.
up there in front and then you get hit with the blue shell and then you get struck by lightning and then somebody runs over you.
Fucking banana peel.
And you're fighting with the best of them to make it across that first finish line. And then immediately it's like, okay, now you need to be in the top 16, go. And like, but the race never stops. And so it just becomes this constant chaos trying to get to the finish line and make it just far enough in placement to not get cut out. And you can
So you
play
could
it.
strategize as just to like lay in the back.
Yeah.
You don't
so
want to get
if-
first because everybody's going to be shooting at you and then you might be last. So
I was running into that last night because I was getting in the lead a lot and I'm like real close to making it to that first finish line and then getting destroyed by all kinds of stuff. The game's so much chaos. It's so fun. And Sarah and I were jumping, hooting, hollering, having a great time way too late last night. It's like, oh no, I got the thing. Go, baby, go, baby, go. And like, when one of us falls out, the other one's still playing because you can play split screen multiplayer online also. So she and I
that's
are
cool.
both racing against all these people on the internet. And like, it's not really cheating. There isn't really any cheating that you
because
can
you're helping
do.
each other.
Yeah, well, it's like if she and I are right next to each other, I'm not going to hit her with a shell, but then we're both going to get
I
hit by
am.
something immediately. And so it doesn't really matter anyway. But I just want to shout it out because any opportunity that I get to sit and enjoy one of my favorite hobbies with my favorite person is a good time to me.
But you were there with your wife.
Yeah, I know.
Not me.
You weren't there. So I'm still looking forward to that opportunity. Just shout out Mario Kart World. It was a really good time to get to sit and scream at the TV together.
That does sound fun.
Yeah.
That does.
It's usually us when we're watching the news.
Why?
Go, baby, go, baby.
Go. Save that baby. Well, I also did something with my significant other that meant a lot to me. And
Nice.
so Erica, not you, Erica's birthday was Wednesday. And one of my favorite directors, as you guys know, is Wes Anderson. And I've gotten Erica to really love Wes Anderson as well. She loves his movies. So his newest movie, The Phoenician Scheme, came out last weekend. And we finally got a chance to watch it on Wednesday. And leading up to watching it, we actually sat down and watched all the Netflix shorts that he did a couple years ago. I had seen The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, but I hadn't seen the other three. So The Ratcatcher, Poison, and The Swan. So we watched all those. The Ratcatcher's the best one out of all three of them, at least in my opinion. Other than Henry Sugar. Sorry, Henry Sugar.
I didn't know that he had shorts on Netflix. That's cool.
Yeah, they're all based off Roald Dahl books.
Cool.
And they're great. I think all four of them star Ben Kingsley, Benedict Cumberbatch, Rupert Friend, and Richard Wadiway. Is that how you pronounce his name? The guy from IT Crowd.
I don't know.
But those three are great. However, the Phoenician Scheme is the newest movie that just came out, and we saw it. It stars Benicio del Toro, Mel Threepleton, Michael Cera, and I think maybe my favorite Michael Cera role ever. It's so funny. He plays this. Is he Swedish? He's like
I think so. Yeah.
He's a Swedish
Bjorn.
tutor that Benicio del Toro's character, who's like this like rich business magnate, hires this guy to just tutor his 7 boys about a random subject, and his subject is bugs. And so it's just like a lot of Michael Cera walking like, this is a playing mantis. He likes to walk up my finger. But they get thrown into this huge world globe-trotting adventure where Benicio del Toro's character Corda is reunited with his long lost, well, not long lost, but like his
Estranged
daughter who is who's trying to be a nun, and he's giving her all of his wealth, like because he's always trying to be assassinated by his business contemporaries, and they're trying to get some business deal done. It's like the conclusion of all his life's work, and the three of them are kind of just bouncing around the world trying to get this deal made, all the while people are trying to stop them. And if you like Wes Anderson, you're gonna like this movie. If you hate Wes Anderson, you will continue to hate this movie because it is all the trappings of everything that you love or hate about Wes Anderson. Like everything's done up in that sort of quick pace but deadpan delivery. You've got everything looks like a stage play, very meticulous framing and shot composition, a lot of surreal imagery and not surreal, but like, how do you call that? How would you describe that? Like that fake sort of stage play. Like this looks like a set on a stage.
Yeah, the production design that he's famous for.
Yeah, it's all of that to a T. However, I do think there is something unique to this movie. Like this is the most overtly funny I think his movies have been recently, because all of his movies have this quirky charm that's kind of fun and hilarious to them. However, a lot of the humor comes almost secondary. Like this is just a natural thing you're going to get with my movies. This one seems to be like, no, we're trying to make you laugh. This is very funny. And there's also more of I think there's more of a soul to this movie, or at least an emotional connection to this movie, because it's centered around mostly this father-daughter team, and you're with them the whole way through, and you really develop a kinship with those characters, and you really want them to succeed, and you want them to, get over their past differences. And when that's in jeopardy, you feel sad. And I love the deadpan delivery of all his movies, because even though they are deadpan, they can hit you so hard in unexpected ways. Like just the simplest like look from somebody, even though it's that like classic, like I'm not really emoting, but there's just enough. There's an art to it. Like they give you just enough that it like hits you like a brick, and I love it. It also stars a bunch of other people who Wes Anderson has collected along the way, like all of his actors that he loves to collect. You got your ScarJo, your Jeffrey Wright, Tom Hanks, Richard Wadiway,
Bryan Cranston again.
Benedict Cumberbatch, F. Abraham Murray.
Of course, Bill Murray.
Bill Murray has like a hilarious cameo in this movie, which of course he would play that character in a Wes Anderson movie, which is so funny. Willem Dafoe's in there. But no, I really like this movie. It actually spurred Erica and I we're doing a Wes Anderson rewatch where we're starting with Bottle Rocket, because she hasn't seen Bottle Rocket before.
Nice.
And we're going through all of his movies in order, and we're going to try to like make our list of like,
I'd be excited to see your ranking.
So far we've gotten through Bottle Rocket and Rushmore, and we're going to rewatch this one because I have to rewatch it because, and all this review I'm giving to you, this review I've given you is, you have to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt, because I missed the first 10 minutes of the movie. Let me tell you why. Because I actually asked Chris a question earlier this week, because I thought maybe he had a similar problem that I did. But so I went to the AMC Newport downtown.
Oh, yeah.
And we show up, and we are 15 minutes early. The movie's supposed to start at 2:30. And we're 15 minutes early. We go to the concession stand.
Which means the movie starts at 2:48.
Yeah, right. So we get there. We get to the concession stand at 2:15, and we were rushing that morning, so we didn't get to have lunch or anything. So we're like, oh, we'll just eat something at the concession stand. So we go to the concession stand. Erica orders 2 hot dogs.
Nice.
I order
Glizzies.
a hot dog and pretzel nuggets, P-nugs, if you will, because that's my movie snack, right? Your boy has to have his P-nugs.
You do love them.
And the poor kid who is working the register, this is clearly his first day on the job. And I am not, and everything I tell you from here on out, I want you to know, I don't blame this child at all, because this kid was trying and he just didn't know because he's inexperienced. However, the other kid that's working the concession with him, hate that kid with a burning passion. This kid looks like just a giant, tall, long hair. Why are you even talking to me? Like Napoleon Dynamite type of face. Mm-hmm. And he walks up to us. And he's like, we only have 1 hot dog. I'm going to have to put more hot dogs on the grill. It's going to be a minute. I'm like, okay. And Erica goes, oh, sure. Do you have like a estimate so maybe we can come back in a few minutes? He's like, I've never actually timed a hot dog, so I don't know. And he was like real shitty about it. Like, how the fuck do I know?
Yeah.
I've never done this. And so we're like, okay. So I told Erica to go into the theater and I'll just wait there. Like, go get our seats. I'll get the food. I get a text from Erica at 2:30. They're fucking starting the movie. The movie's starting on time. They no previews. No Nicole Kidman saying we make movies better. None of it. Just right into the fucking
Not even
movie.
the Australian version?
No,
Dang.
not at all. And so I'm like, Lurch, get over here. I need, like, how long is it going to be? Oh no, off my back. Oh,
Get off my back. Tina, eat your tots.
so now it's 2 again. We put our order in at 2:15. 2:40. He finally gives me the food.
The glizzies and the peanuts.
Yeah, and the P-nugs, hard as rocks.
Oh, no.
Hard as fucking rocks. The hot dogs, they're fine. So he did grill them, so I'll give him that credit. He cooked them well. But I go into the theater, and whatever auditorium it was auditorium 6, the bulb's dead, and they're still playing the movie. Like, as a projectionist, the bulb is like, it's super dark. Like, unless it's like a white scene, it's so hard to see anything. And then the top right-hand corner, like if you cut if you cut 3 diagonal lines into the movie and made like 3 quadrants, the top right-hand quadrant is almost black. And the rest of the movie is just dim as fuck and sort of flickering a little bit. Like, the bulb is dead. They should have changed this motherfucker hours
saw
ago.
it as Wes Anderson intended.
Yeah, so it was not a great theater experience. However, I thought the movie was great, and I look forward to rewatching it a second time on our Wes Anderson marathon rewatch that we're doing. That's partially why we had to do it. Like, well, we got to watch this movie again. Might as well do it for science.
Might as well watch them all. I can't wait till you get to Steve Zissou
Steve Zissou.
and Isle of Dogs and Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I did rewatch Steve Zissou recently a couple months ago. I think it's aged the poorest.
Really?
Out of his movies.
It used to be my like
Yeah, it was high up on my
cool
list.
people love this. You know, it's an underappreciated one. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue into my theater experience for my final Crossing Streams, which is Materialists. So I don't often get screeners. A lot of times studios really want me to see the movie in a theater. And because I live where I live, I don't get to see it early. And so I'm competing with, I've said this before, not really competing, but I am competing with people who do my job that have seen a lot of these movies a month ago. And so it's but a lot of times when I see 4 or 5 movies on a weekend, I really did watch them in one day. So that may affect my review as well. But I did see Echo Valley a while ago because Apple's really cool to me. So I sign up for a triple feature. I go to see, I've got it all scheduled. I'm going to see Materialists, and then I'm going to see The Life of Chuck at 4:40. And then I'm going to see How to Train Your Dragon, the live action remake at 7:15. I've got it all planned out. I show up to the movie theater at 1:30. Unlike you, I always show up a couple of minutes after the start time and then walk in 5, 7, 10 minutes later and still have to watch 2 or 3 trailers because I don't like trailers. So I get there for the Materialist, and this is actually my most anticipated of the 3, which might be strange because I love Mike Flanagan so much. But Materialist is directed by Celine Song, who made my favorite movie of 2023, Past Lives. And it stars 3 of the sexiest people on the planet. And it's like a satirical rom-com. So I'm so excited. It's got Chris Evans and Pedro Pascal and Dakota Johnson. And so I'm really excited for this movie. I sit down, I go in, the lights are still on and the screen is really dim. And I think that that's odd because it's dimmer than it should be even with the lights on. And we're watching all of the trailers and stuff. Because again, I've showed up after 6 of the trailers have already taken place and it's still like this in the room. And I'm like, uh-oh,
yeah,
that's weird. But this place is a shithole. So I'm like, that's not that weird. Which sucks because I spend so much of my free time convincing people that movie theaters are still worth going to. And they are. I love that experience. It's unmatched. No matter how I have a big ass OLED TV, or not OLED, but 4K. I have a really great surround sound system. No matter what you say you have, it's not equal to a really good theater experience, right?
Yeah.
So I still believe that, but it is unfortunate that this kind of shit happens so often. So I get there. It's me and like 10 other people there to see Materialists. And right at 1:30, which is when or right after the pre-roll's done, the screen just turns off completely. Like we watch all of Nicole Kidman. We make a movie.
We make better.
They are. And then it's like turns off completely. And I hear somebody go behind me go,
oh no.
Uh-oh. So then the guy that I've seen way too often in my years there, the manager, fucking
Kit.
he sachets in with his fucking, he's all sweaty and he's like, all right, guys, really sorry. So the bulb needs replaced.
Oh, it does.
And our guy, he's been up there working on it. He hoped he could finish it by the time the movie was starting. It's not working.
Was he building the bulb?
I don't know. I say like the bulb replacement operation was more complex.
To replace a bulb while it's running.
I don't know.
What the fuck?
I don't know. So he's like, he's been up there working on it. It's not working. He thinks he can fix it in a few minutes, but just in case, we're going to give out some free passes to future screenings. They give you these coupons for admit one for any screening, which is always a useless gesture to me. And the world's not about me. But as somebody who's an AMC A-lister, I pay for 4 movies a week, whether I see them or not. And so a free movie screening ticket does nothing for me. Something like that. And this is what I get every time something like this happens. So I go, thanks. And I put it in the cup holder next to me. And I sit there and wait. And I'm starting to get scared because I have meticulously planned this schedule. If this fuckery goes on any longer, I'll now miss my Life of Chuck screening.
Yeah.
Or miss my How to Train Your Dragon screening, which is a movie I really don't want to see, but we're covering it on the pod. So I have to see that one. And I'm like, fuck. So I'm sitting there getting as sweaty as the manager. And finally he sachets back in. I don't know why he's doing that, but he's doing it.
He's feeling himself.
He's like, guys, bad news. He's not going to be able to fix it.
Turns out you weren't supposed to change the bulb while the projector was running. He's dead now.
This screening is cooked. Everybody go home. That's my B. I'll give you refunds on your refreshments and your tickets. So I walk over there and I'm like, hey, how are you going to help me? I'm an AMC A-lister. So like, can you give me my like weekly screening slot back? Is that something you can do? And the guy like clearly doesn't know if that's how A-list works. And he's like, yeah.
Totes.
It'll be back on there. Just hit refresh. And I've been there before. It's not his fault. He doesn't have time to like think about this right now. He didn't design the app. So I just go, okay, thanks, buddy. So I go to the little screen. I take that voucher they gave me. And I'm like, fuck it. Okay, I can reschedule this. Now I can pull some moves. And this is what I do. But AMC is such a fucking shithole. Or at least this location is, that I still get fucked. So I cancel my Life of Chuck screening. I text somebody at Neon. And I say, hey, can you please send me a screener for Life of Chuck really quickly? Long story, but I need to watch it today. And, because I've got a review for all of these movies planned and I've got a tight sketch.
Yeah.
And they do. They immediately send me a screener for Life of Chuck.
That's great.
And so I'm like, okay, I can go. This is savage, but I can go down in my car, watch that on my laptop during Materialist time, schedule the Materialist for Life of Chuck time, and still get this triple feature done. And I'm all excited. Like I figured it out. This is great. I walk all the way down to the garage and then I go, wait a second. The Materialist screening that I moved is in the same fucking theater. And it's also theater 15. I don't know if it's going to be fixed by the time this isn't going to work. So I walk, and it's 4 floors up to the AMC.
Yeah, it's a trek to get up there.
So I walk all the way back up there, and there's this fucking lady. God love them. I get it. I'm not trying to be shitty to workers, but I'm this fucking lady that's working box office. I'm like, oh man. So I go over there, and I'm like, hey, I need to talk to your manager. And not like a Karen, but like, hey, can I talk to the guy you just saw me talking to about the thing you just saw me talking about, please? And she's like, he's busy. I'm sure I can handle it. And I was like, I'm not sure that you can. And she's like, I can. And I was like, okay, well, I'm trying to see The Materialist, and I have this screening scheduled for 4:40 that I think is in the same theater as the one with the burnt bulb. And so I bet it's not going to work at that time either. And I need to know if it's not going to work so I can make other plans. Yeah, I don't really deal with that. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, I fucking know. That's why. Like, what is going on right now?
I don't know if it's the same way now, but I know years ago that theater specifically hired a third-party company to run their projectors. So if you talk to any of the people who are on the theater level about a problem with the projector, they would have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
The guy that came in to talk about the bulbs was 100% not an AMC employee. Yeah, he was like a tech.
Yeah.
And so I kind of chuckled like, yeah, I know. I was trying to free you from this awkwardness. Can you get the manager? Right. And she's like, yeah, hold on. She like radios in or whatever. And so I'm on the phone with my wife, and I'm, because she was dealing with the birthday party nonsense and stuff. So anyway, like 15 minutes later, the manager sachets out. And basically he's like, yeah, man, I have no idea. That's
Is he snapping while he's
I wouldn't bank on it. And so I'm like, fuck. So I just go home. I watch Life of Chuck, and then I come back at 7 for How to Train Your Dragon. And I ended up booking a 10 p.m. Materialists screening, and I stayed for it, and I watched it. And as all that is to say, I really like this movie. Most people are hating it from what I see online. Not people, critics are loving it, but like, Materialists,
the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is not liking it.
I don't know. I just know the vibe on social media is really like, oh, fuck this movie. It's broke man propaganda or whatever. Like they say, like The Notebook is like, there's this joke in Gen Z where it's like movies try to get you to pick the dude with no money, and that's bullshit. And this movie's doing that again. But the interesting thing about Materialists is that it's not doing that at all. It's not even a rom-com. It's like, I don't want to call it satire, but that's the closest word for it. Like, it has the trappings of an early 2000s Matthew McConaughey or Hugh Grant or J-Lo movie on purpose. Like, she is a matchmaker, and she falls in love with one of her clients, and then decides that she's still maybe in love with her ex-boyfriend who's broke, and there's a triangle, but then there's some like really dark things that happen. And it's not a rom-com at all. It is really funny, but in like a Yorgos Lanthimos kind of way. And so everybody's really confused. Like, this movie fucking sucks. You know what I mean? I didn't even see Pedro Pascal's dick.
Oh, you don't? Fuck this movie.
And it's not supposed to be like that at all. It's like, if you've seen Past Lives, like Celine Song is once again just being like brutally honest about modern dating and love and relationships and self-image. And I think it's really profound in that way, and it does some really interesting things. A lot of people are just convinced that Dakota Johnson is a terrible actor. I disagree. I think she's great. She's great in this movie for sure, but I also just in general find her really fun to watch.
She was great in Madam Web.
Legitimately. I think the potentially best Chris Evans performance that we've gotten in a long, long time, which isn't saying much, but also Pedro Pascal is like understandably great as usual. I think the movie's great. It's one of my favorite of the year. But yeah, you might not feel that way, but just don't go in expecting, The Wedding Planner or something. Mm-hmm. And I think you'll have a better time, because it's definitely fucking with you by advertising the movie as a fun rom-com.
Maybe Matt Remick from the studio was in charge of the advertising for this movie to try to get more eyes on the product.
But that's the thing. This happens a lot because third-party companies cut trailers, and they'll just latch on to the most sellable aspects of a movie. And then you'll go in upset. It'll kind of have the reverse effect. It'll bring in more waves of people initially, but then like kill the word of mouth by marketing it wrong.
Right.
I think they 100% intentionally, as part of the satire, because it's A24, marketed this movie like a fun rom-com. Mm-hmm. And if you know who Celine Song is, and the kind of movies A24 typically does, then maybe you expected a fun twist. But anyway, I really liked it. Not going to be most people's bag.
What day did you see that?
That was all on Thursday.
On Thursday, okay. I saw your post about the bulb, and I immediately texted like, oh, bro.
You were, yeah, he was traumatized.
My guy.
What theater? He's like, what fucking theater was
fucking
that?
theater? Give me a name.
I think they probably just need to change a lot of their bulbs, but you know, it's just part and parcel for going to the theater. Unfortunately, like Andy and I have had multiple instances of fucked up audio tracks, and we've had to change theaters. That happened to us with Baby Driver, right?
Yeah.
And La La Land. And it just happens all the time, unfortunately. And I'm still like, go to the theaters, guys. But it's sad. When
it works, it's great.
It's how many people in that theater hadn't been to a movie theater in like 9 months?
Right.
Probably a few of them. And how many people typically go to see a movie like Materialists? Not that many. And then now they're like, this is fucking why. And they're, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I was like, God damn it, guys. You're dropping the ball.
Yeah.
Reinvest in your, and they don't hire any staff now.
No, it's so
if you
empty.
get like a Barbenheimer or any kind of bump, good luck snack wise, bro, because that line is forever. And there's 3 people that make $7 an hour sitting there serving you stale shit. Like, yeah, suck my dick, bye. Yeah, suck my balls, bye. Yeah, hot dog these nuts, bye.
So
Kiss
such a
my
bummer.
ass, kiss his ass.
I remember working at a
Because
National
they got like
Amusements.
13 registers and there's 2 occupied, and the dude over there playing with his belly button staring at you.
Yeah. And they use the countertops where they used to have popcorn machines. They use those just to hold the boxes so they have easier access to cup lids.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's such a
And there's
weak
always
situation.
a guy looking you dead in the eye that's not restocking popcorn, not cooking it, but also not manning a register.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, 101, never meet my eyes, because I'm staring at you like, can you help me, please? Can you type some buttons?
I can see there's a lot of places you can be to hide. I get it.
You're right.
I get it. Go fucking hide, just not where I can see.
Why are you standing right by the popcorn, looking me dead in the eye? Like, not going to do it though.
When I went to see the Bloodlines movie, the dude working the counter saw my shirt. I was wearing a Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse shirt, and he was like, yeah, that's my name. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Your name is Spider-Man?
He's like, what is it? I'm like, what? Well, what's his name? What? Miles? Yep. All right. See you, Miles. It was the most odd. He was just like immediately like.
Was he doing like the name 3 songs thing?
Oh, yeah. He was testing my cred. Like, are you
a real Spider-Man
Are you
fan?
allowed to wear that shirt?
Who doesn't know
100%.
Miles Morales isn't even a deep cut.
Right.
I know.
What's his name? Dude, it was insane. I'm like, who are these people and why do they hire
Should
them?
have said Gwen. Nice to meet you, Gwen.
I was just so taken aback. I was like, his name? Your name? Your shared name? Dude, these people are crazy.
I remember in 2000.
You're both we're all 3 former movie theater employees. These fucking people, man.
It's literally me.
My eye of Sauron turns towards the people who run movie theaters now, just because like I remember in 2005 when I became a part-time manager at the National Amusements Theater that I worked at 17 years old.
The heights you reached.
I was on top of the world. Let me tell you what, I could see any movie I wanted for free. But I remember one of my bosses telling me like, our company specifically, National Theaters, he was like, we are the Cadillac of movie theaters. We think that when people come out, it's a big deal because it's expensive, and we want people to come here, have a wonderful time away from their family if they're like going on a date without the kids or something.
Sure.
Make it
or with their
was
mistress.
Like, he was really selling like this is a upscale dating experience that we want to provide.
Facilitate.
Like,
exactly.
And that was when like the theaters were just introducing, ooh, what if we added a bar to the theater?
Yeah.
What if we added like actual like dine-in options that weren't just popcorn? And they were really into it. And they hired a bunch of people. Like the concession stands were always full. We had satellite concession stands down the hallway for when it was really busy. We had a whole ass infrastructure for how to queue lines because it was before you like had assigned seating. So like we had a whole line situation infrastructure, and none of that exists anymore because they hire 3 people to man the whole goddamn building anymore.
Yeah.
And it just pisses me off because of course everyone that works there is going to be miserable and hate it because of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just you against the horde.
I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you. But speaking of Dakota Johnson and me loving Nepo babies, did you know that Mia Threppleton, who plays the daughter and main character in Phoenician Scheme. Do you know who she is?
Who is she?
It's Kate Winslet's daughter.
Is it really?
It is.
Oh, it's fun.
Isn't that fun?
Aw,
It's
nice.
fun.
I could see it now that you say it.
It's Baby Winslet.
Yeah, wow. She definitely looks like her mom.
Yeah. So anyway, that's some things that we've been streaming. We support movie theaters, but, have some patience.
Get your shit together, movie theaters.
It's still my life's dream to buy a movie theater,
Yeah.
which is a really dumb idea.
But hey, if you're able to do that, that means you got fuck you money.
I've wanted to since way before we did this pod. It's been, I tried to convince, when I worked at Goodfellas, I tried to convince the owners to buy the guitar shop down the street and turn it back into a movie theater. Because it was an old movie theater that was just a guitar shop now. Yeah. And they do most of their sales online. I was like, so he would totally sell that building and you could serve your pizza in there because it's right down the street. You know, you could have people walk up pizzas or whatever. I've been to another theater that had like a pizza chain partnered that did the same thing. And they were like business owners. So they were like, well, tell me how much the seats cost, how much the renovations are going to be, how do you score movies and what the licensing costs and whatever think you need financially, and then quadruple that and call me back. And then I was like, oh, fuck all that, dude. I didn't know you were going to make me do math. Just fucking buy it, dude.
Call me out on it.
God damn. What am I, a fucking entrepreneur?
I just want to like be there and be the guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking asshole. But I still want to do that. A building is still my dream.
Yeah.
And just make like a really
I
upscale.
love that guitar shop. It'd be a bummer for them for
You
Mike's
don't
to
go
go
there.
away.
You
Yes, I
fucking liar.
do.
You're a fucking liar. I've
do.
never seen you in there.
You there a lot.
I mean, I was like the not the guy, but I was on that street for like 6 straight years.
Yeah.
Never saw you. Nobody goes in there. But yeah, that's what we've been streaming. Now it's time for our main review, How to Train Your Dragon 2025. But first, a quick word from one of our sponsors that's not Apple TV Plus.
Hey, Stream Fiends, June is here, and you know what that means. School is out. Summer is heating up, and we're diving headfirst into the season of blockbusters, barbecues, and if you're anything like me, staying inside where the air conditioning is a-runnin'. It's also time for one of our favorite summer traditions, and that is giving a huge sun-soaked thank you to our super patrons. These amazing folks support us at the $25 or higher level on Patreon, and their generosity keeps this podcast running smoother than a slip and slide on a hot day. So don't jet off to the pool just yet, because we got to give these patrons a very special thank you. So thank you to Dara Cosby, Hannah Zito, Sun-Loving Mortal, Carrie Sink, Xander Barbarian, Daniel Pack, Phil S., Nice Guy Eddie, The Great Serpent, Taloon, Jordan Garvin, Albus Stinkpot, Maddlestat, Susie Callahan, Anthony Corona, Jim E., Lady Trashley, Sean Myers, Just Liz Calabria, Mike from New Hampshire, Brett X, E. Scramo, Lil Tickler, Svento7, Jay Scramo, Bluffpalm, A.K. Ashley Ray, Adam Busby, Upside Down Canuck, Big Butthorn, Jair Latanowicz, Kaylee Sampson, Rabbit Dog in a Barbie Car, Elbander, Charlie Friday, Alexis Adler, Peaches, Emmy, Haley B, Joe Velez, Trisha Bueller, Alex Shee, Suzanne Rode, Jadinklage Morgoon, Kalisha Reeves, Paula Garcia, That Brenda, Aaron Armstrong, V-Tech Hoot 82, Casey McCain, and of course Enza. Thank you again so much for supporting Streaming Things, and let's get back to the episode.
And we're back. We're going to do a complete spoiler-free reaction for How to Train Your Dragon. Andy,
Yeah.
we were supposed to see it together. My bad.
No, it's all good.
Had a baseball Little League game I didn't know about.
It's supposed to be you and me and Sarah. Sarah had to bounce too. Our dog was sick, and then you had to bounce. So I was the creepy old man sitting at the back of a kids movie. It was fun. Yeah. I also want to
Luckily,
say
it's
like
a
dragons.
15-year-old remake. I can help you be a dragon rider.
rocking my HR Puffin stuff shirt. Like, I love this shit.
You want to know what I do with Mushu?
Oh, no. Anyway, sorry about that.
No, it's all good. I also want to say I earned a little bit of good karma because there was a wallet sitting next to me in my empty seat up there. Someone else was using that seat. I turned it in. There was like
Give them their cards back.
$100 cash in there, and like some.
Oh, you counted it.
But there was. I did. Yeah. I went through. I was looking for an ID.
There was $200 in there. there, maybe not.
I was looking for NID and I found cash and I was like, how much? Oh, dang.
And he's like, I'm a nice guy. I found a wallet. There was $113 in there.
I left 13 of it.
The trick is I took his social security card and left everything else.
I turned it in. I'm like, these kids are 1,000,000% going to steal this $100 and throw away the wallet. But you know, that karma can be on them. Anyway,
all the workers.
Yeah. 100%.
You're like, thanks, nerd.
Yeah. So yeah, I saw How to Train Your Dragon. This is my overall thoughts, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I am not the target audience for this at all. I've seen How to Train Your Dragon, the original one, once, I think. Definitely saw it at least once back in the day with my nephew. And I thought it was fine. And I wasn't the target audience for that either. I'm not the biggest animated movie guy. Just for whatever reason, not super my cup of tea. And this is actually the first live action remake of an animated movie that I've ever seen. I have not.
So you didn't see your Lion Kings?
I didn't see Lion King, Aladdin. I didn't see Beauty and the Beast. None of it. So this whole time we're this cultural conversation of is this gross? Is this just a money grab, or does it justify its existence? I have been on the sidelines for all of that because I have not been interested in seeing any of these things. And I wasn't interested in seeing this either and would not have seen it if we weren't covering it for the pod. That said, I had a pretty good time with it. Now, like I said, I have seen the original. I thought it was fine back in the day. I think that a lot of the charm does carry over into this one, at least as far as the dynamic between the characters and their dragons. I think that the CGI effects and direction for Toothless are super on point, and I think that the relationship with Hiccup and Toothless is portrayed beautifully. I also think that the cast has absolutely no chemistry with each other. Every joke falls completely flat anytime there is two live people on screen. And so if we're talking about does a movie justify its existence, for my money, no, because the live action parts, or where it's live action with live action, are the worst parts of the movie. I think that the all of the miscellaneous characters, the kids and stuff, are
talking about Rough Nut, Tough Nut.
Yeah, they look
Snot Lout.
They look the part, but they don't act the part, and nothing lands. I think that the only heart in this movie comes strictly from Nick Frost, and I think that he does great as the blacksmith, whatever his character's name is. Yeah, Gobber. I think that he is the heart and soul of the movie, and he is doing some heavy lifting in giving us a reason to care about anything that's not animated in the movie. I think that the direction is pretty great. Cinematography is beautiful. The set design of Berk, I think the island's called, is absolutely gorgeous and spot on for what I remember from the animated movie way back when. But overall, I mean, I had a good time, and I think that for kids that either grew up with this movie or young now and have seen the original and are interested in seeing it again through a new light, I think that they'll have a fantastic time because it does its job. You know, it's almost shot for shot, again, from what I can remember. And so it's telling the same story. I just don't think it's telling it as effectively. But I gave it, I busted out Letterboxd for this. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it.
Hell yeah.
I gave it 2.5 stars. And I think that's me being a little generous because I'm doing it from a, not just my experience, but how I think it's achieving what it's set out to do. You know, for my experience, it would have been like a 1.5, 2, just because it's not my cup of tea. But for knowing who the target audience is and how effectively it does what it's trying to do, I gave it the 2.5 because I think it does the job. You know,
agreed. Steve.
Oh man, this is
what? This
is interesting.
That's a spice peanut.
So this is interesting. So I'm a huge fan of the 2010 How to Train Your Dragon. I think that is a wonderful animated movie. I love it to death. I think the cast for the original movie is so great, and honestly, the live action cast have incredibly large boots to fill. Mm-hmm. I mean, your Jay Baruchels, your Christopher Mintz-Pleasants, your Craig Fergusons, American Ferrera, Jonah Hill, TJ Miller, Kristen Wiig.
TJ Miller, I mean, the dude probably sucks or whatever. I know there's like a brain tumor or some shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was fucking funny in 2010, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And
McLovin,
God,
Kristen Wiig. Yeah.
yeah. So those are big shoes to fill. And I think most of the actors, step up for the most part. I think there are some that obviously aren't up to the task, but I do think like specifically Julian Dennison, I love Julian Dennison. So him showing up as Fish Legs was a big surprise because I didn't know he was in this. But I think to your point, Andy, Nick Frost, incredible in this movie. I do think Mason Thames, who plays this Hiccup, I think he does a pretty good job.
He looks the part.
Gerard Butler, though, I think is, for me, the standout of the movie because he's reprising his role as Stoic from the original animated movie. And I think he's having such a fun time being the dad in a live action role. Just like the way he's just kind of like leaning into things a little bit more than he leaned into when he did the original voicing. He just seems like he's having a good time. And every time he's on screen, he and Nick Frost, it injects a lot of personality into the movie. If you liked the 2010 How to Train Your Dragon animated movie, odds are you will have a good time with this movie because, spoiler alert, it's the same fucking movie. Like beat for beat, almost shot for shot, almost line for line. They do add like they expand on a couple different minor things, but overall it's the same fucking movie. You've seen this movie before. And because of that, I think it works because the formula has been proven to work. So if you like that, you're going to like this. However, this movie, some of the actors they're not as good as the original. I think the movie is considerably uglier than the animated movie. Like there are some like action scenes where it just looks like a blob of CGI and it's like, what the fuck are we looking at? And specifically when like some of the Hiccup and Toothless flying around scenes, I think specifically like there's some moments where it's just like, what is happening? I don't understand. And the opening scene on Berk when it's nighttime, a lot of it's like, what is?
Oh, it's so dark.
It's like when everyone complained about the long night on Game of Thrones. Like, what the fuck is happening? It's weird.
Kit Harington was actually in there.
Get a dragon. I got the fat ones. But I did have a good time. The score is the same score as the original, and the score rocks. I think How to Train Your Dragon has an amazing score, and it works incredibly well. I do, part of me, because everything is just directly lifted from the animated movie, there are a couple design choices, like some of the dragon types they've altered slightly a bit for their live screen versions. The bigger dragon that has the tiny wings, I think that change in design of that dragon is such a glow up because they added it a little. It's got like pit bull characteristics in its
jaw
face.
strength 10.
It's got a little pity face and it looks adorable, and I love that. I kind of wish they would make a little bit of these things their own. Like Toothless just looks like they just took Toothless directly from the animated show and just put a layer of like added sharpening to it, which isn't a bad thing. It's just kind of like, oh, it's just the same exact one. Now, some people might be happy to hear that. I know Eric and I went to some family over the weekend, and they were asking like, "Oh, how is it?" And I said, "Oh, it's the same thing." And the one person that we were talking to literally was like, "Good, they better not touch a fucking thing about that movie. That's my favorite movie. Don't change a goddamn thing." It's like, oh shit,
They didn't.
You'll love it. Good news, they didn't. They made the one dragon look like a pit bull a little bit, and it's adorable. But hey, other than that, looks great. But I do wish they would kind of, I don't know. I part of me wishes they would, take a swing and do something a little different and a little bit more ambitious to justify the movie a little bit more. Because even though I do think it's a good movie, I do think people are going to enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I also am like, in a couple years, if I'm getting that How to Train Your Dragon itch, I'm not going to put this movie on. I'm going to put on the animated movie because the animated movie is just better. It looks better. It's the original. I don't know. It doesn't justify existence. But then at the same time, of all the live action animated remakes I've seen, this is my favorite one because it's also the least different. It's hard. I don't know. I'm in a weird place with this movie philosophically, but overall, I think you'll have fun with it. go see it for yourself. If you like How to Train Your Dragon, you're going to love the movie anyway. It's just kind of like, why does this exist? What about you, Kit Laser?
I agree with you 1,000%. And the movie's fine. It is literally the same movie, but worse. And I have thoughts about like the why that's kind of dire in general. But I agree with you. I think the original 2010 movie is great. In fact, the entire trilogy is really good and underloved, if anything, even though it is loved. It's a really, really good movie with a lot of heart, and it's gorgeous. And if you watch that, because I rewatched it right before I saw this, which I do that a lot. And again, it was a mistake because it's the same movie. So maybe I had like a little less tolerance than I might have if I hadn't seen it in a long time.
You pulled an alien Romulus.
I did it again. But I always think it's valid in what I try to do as a job to like have a really clear comparison, you know?
What you should do is watch the new movie first and write down all of your thoughts. And then you watch the original to see like, how did it compare and contrast? Because then maybe you won't be like primed to be like, oh, that's the same thing. And maybe that's true. But I often, when I do that, because of what I talked about earlier, I'm making my review and I want that context and I won't have the time afterward kind of thing. That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah. I get that.
So yeah, it's almost identical. It is 30 minutes almost longer. It's like 27 minutes longer. And everything that they add makes it actively worse. It's mostly scenes between Astrid and Hiccup that are just longer with some extra lines. And all that it's doing is it's mostly Astrid making clear some emotional subtext or hammering home something really obvious.
Bringing up the Nepo babiness of it all, so which I thought was an interesting thing to add. Like, you're just a Nepo baby.
Yeah, you're just the chief's kid. And it's just, so it makes the movie actively dumber whenever possible. And it's also actively uglier because I was I never knew this. Maybe everybody knows this, but I was watching it like, God, this is some like really beautiful, not just animation, but like the composition is fucking great of this shot in the original animated film. Roger fucking Deakins was a visual consultant on the original film. So he's stepping in with the animators and being like, you know, like this or whatever he does, right? I think he's British.
That's what you get when you pay for Roger Deakins. No, like this.
And so that's why, right? Or a huge reason why. And I don't know, man, like you said, the cast is almost to a T, to a man worse, with the exception of Gerard Butler, who is reprising his role. And he, like, because it's live action, gets to lean into a lot of the emotion and do some more earnest things with the part that I think are interesting and fun. But Mason Thames, he did good, but he plays Hiccup a lot sadder than Jay Baruchel's like quippy version. And as a result, 90% of the jokes, which are the same jokes, don't work without that like Freaks and Geeks tone and sarcasm behind it.
It's like my dad
just gestured to all of me. Like,
I don't really like my dad too.
Yeah.
My dad doesn't like me.
Oh, what am I going to do? I don't want to be a lawyer. Exactly. Tonight will be the night I ride a dragon. Yeah. So there's that. That's my overall review. But in general, like philosophically, I do think it's dire. Disney's been doing this for a long time. And I kind of categorically reject the live action remakes and haven't even seen the first few, which I heard are actually pretty good. Like the OG Jungle Book. I don't know if it's the Jon Favreau. There was like 3 of those I didn't watch. I don't think I did. Maybe I did. Was it Emma Watson, Beauty and the Beast, like the Cinderella? Like apparently those are pretty good. They do different things. I don't know. I didn't watch them. But for the most part, they are garbage, right? And now DreamWorks is doing it because they already have Prince of Egypt planned, I think. And why wouldn't they? Because they all make $1 billion and they just have to. And to your point, Steve, it's the same movie. Toothless is the same design. And I think they're kind of in a pickle. They would have to do that or people would be mad. And yet it's kind of their own fault because why are you doing it anyway?
Yeah.
I do think there is a place for remakes. There is a place for adaptations. The Thing is a remake. The Departed is a remake. Most people get really upset when their favorite book or comic book or movie is changed in some way when it's adapted. If anything, it should be the opposite. things should change. Like certain core things can't or shouldn't be changed, but things should change. There are many reasons to make a remake, like technology changes. You can better tell the story. Real world events make a story more relevant or necessary. You can adapt a wonderful story for a wider audience. And I hate that people won't watch international films in different languages, but that is a fact. And sometimes you can just bring a beautiful story to an English speaking audience that would never check it out otherwise, right? You can reinterpret a story completely to have a different meaning. And I think about theater a lot. Like think about all of the different interpretations there are in each individual Shakespeare play. So you do a production of Hamlet and you portray him as a madman. And then you do one where he's a hero. And then you do one where he wants to have sex with his mom. And these are all valid ways of viewing the same text. And so there's a different version for each one. And that makes sense. But when you're just like doing the same fucking movie that came out 15 years ago, probably because you just opened a theme park called Epic Universe and you need a commercial for it. That really hinges on How to Train Your Dragon as its core theme at the park. And that's where the real money, I don't know if you know this, but Disney makes way more money at their parks than they do with anything else, right? So this is like Universal's like, oh, fuck yeah, or DreamWorks, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to come. There's so much money.
We went on that.
So that's why this movie exists. And that kind of is gross to me.
You could argue that this is a different interpretation. You said it's a sadder Hiccup, right?
Well, so Mason Thames does something different.
Yeah.
Accidentally, maybe with his iteration of Hiccup, but ultimately it doesn't change much else. That's true. You could argue that, I guess, but I don't think it changes enough. If they had, I'm talking about like they set this in on Wall Street. And his dad is a financial investor.
But the lines are all the same.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you do what I'm talking about.
Sure.
You can't invest in dragons. It's been destroying the market for years.
And Dragons is a company. That's what you fucking do, right?
Imagine that being the movie that they released.
And it's how to train, you know what I'm saying? The market.
This is Berk. Our portfolio is strong.
And Rough Nut and Tough Nut are just two investors. I think that, and you said something that's really like I don't want to like be overly dramatic or act like I'm attacking you. It just is what it is, right? But like the only excuse you have outside of money and like theme park for this movie to exist is actually kind of worse, is that people just don't want to watch an animated movie.
Sure.
That's the only valid reason for this. And that sucks because like it's a beautiful, valid form of storytelling that is just better at certain things. Like the reason adaptations should change is because every story should fit the medium that it's in. It doesn't matter if it's a comic book, a novel, a ballad, a play, a movie, a TV show, or a video game. There should be a reason why it is what it is. And when I'm watching something and I'm like, there's no reason this is a TV show, then that pisses me off, right? Mm-hmm. There's no reason this is a comic book. It's just like they didn't have the budget or whatever. Then that sucks. With a novel, you can explore the interiority of a character. And a film has music and silence to help tell its story. And that's the only reason this movie rocks at all. It's because John Powell's doing the score again.
The score is awesome.
A video game, I think it's the most participatory and most active form of storytelling by virtue of the medium. Like horror games are scarier than any horror book or movie. I can watch any horror movie. It's not going to bother me that much. I promise you. There are so many horror games I straight up can't play. Mm-hmm. Because for whatever reason, it's like I can't fucking play Dead Space. It scares the fuck out of me. You know what I mean? When I played Last of Us, I had to call Andy. Andy's like my girlfriend. And like we can talk on the phone for 3 or 4 hours. And so I would do that while I'm playing just because I'm not alone. I'm not as scared. I can fuck that bloater. I'm not scared. Andy's like, I got to go. And I'm like,
no, come back.
Hold on.
Let me save real quick.
Speaking of Last of Us, it was fun seeing Nico Parker in a thing.
I thought Nico Parker was good as Astrid, but at Andy's point, the chemistry wasn't really there.
Yeah, there's no chemistry at
The hair and costume is distractingly silly, especially for Astrid.
Well, did you see one of the things they added in this movie from the original was they elongated Stoic's speech when he first tries to get all of the Vikings to go on the journey to find the nest with him.
It's more inclusive.
And it's to explain the diversity of the Vikings.
Yeah.
Because now there's all these other like tribes from all over the world. And that doesn't exist in the original movie. They're just Vikings. And he goes, we're going. And they go, I don't want to. And he's like, well, we're going. And the scene's over. And they add all of that about you're from the Silk Road. And, and like all that's new for the movie. And I like, I love a diverse cast.
Yeah.
But it was interesting that that's one of the things that they added to give like an in-world which I didn't need because it's like there's already dragons, bro. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't need you to make this more realistic for Vikings or whatever. Nick Frost was great, but yeah, that's my big speech. Is like, I really think this trend of the live action remakes does nothing but devalue animation, which is already a devalued art form, and that's just annoying to me. Yeah. That's the only purpose for these is to be like, now it's the same story but a real movie, and
wink.
And it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Miyazaki is over there like, God damn it. Yeah. My Letterboxd review of this movie, I don't know why it was confusing, but everybody acted like they didn't get it. Maybe it's just a bad joke. But I said, movies like this are going to put hardworking AI out of the job. Because like, ultimately, this is what AI can do. Copy something else and make a shittier version of it.
Yeah.
Is what it currently has the technology to do. And that's all this movie is, The costumes aren't even that good. Like, it looks kind of weird. Like, Gerard Butler looks goofy, I think, for the most part, even though he was doing some really cool things.
Everybody looked goofy.
Yeah, it was just kind of goofy looking. And yeah, I just didn't like it. That's my overall review. Sorry for that big speech, but
there is something unsettling about a character named Gobber who has like a hammer for an arm and a peg leg. Something, seeing that in animation, you're like, oh, that's adorable. Look at that. That's a great character design. And then seeing Nick Frost lumber around, like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's one of the things that I kept thinking when you were talking about like how it's just the same thing, but worse. I think yes, it is that, but it's also slightly more adult feeling. And for reasons like that, the fact that he is a maimed individual hits home a lot harder, I think, when it is a live action person. And especially like the ending of the movie, when I was watching it, I was like, this is kind of scary for a kid's movie. And we can talk about it in spoilers section, but the design of things is like very adult oriented in some instances.
Like
friend of mine,
like the look of the dragons and how they kind of interact in the world.
A friend of mine asked, he was like, he wanted to bring his 3-year-old daughter to go see it. And he was like, how is it? And I was like, probably too scary for her.
Watch the 2010 one.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I think that,
I always think about me watching Train to Busan with Mason when he was 3. And when people ask me that, I'm like, don't ask me. I'm much better with my daughter. Like, she's strictly Miyazaki and Miss Rachel. But yeah, he's fine though, I think.
I think.
But that's a good segue. Let's just go ahead and move into spoilers so we can kind of say whatever else there is to say with complete freedom. Full spoilers. If you have not seen the How to Train Your Dragon remake, which is just the original movie to a
So if you haven't seen the 2010 movie or the new one, get out.
Yeah, be aware. We're about to spoil the movie. But yeah, what
the final dragon, the one that is inside
the queen
of the
bee?
volcano, yeah, it is. It's like Vagar, that farty old bitch.
It is.
It's big and scary and spitting fire, and like they do a pretty good job with the special effects of making it look like it's real.
I also like the Night Fury's like purple, like that's cool.
Yeah. And the one dragon in the opening when Gerard Butler's fighting it and
fire all over itself?
Hiccup's like only the good Vikings fight these guys. It's scary looking for a kid's movie.
Yeah, the Monstro, some I forget what it's called. Terrible Terror. I don't know which one it is, but
But anyway, I was just saying that the design of it is way more adult oriented, I think, which is it's its own pitfall in a live action remake to like stray away from the charm of the design of some of the dragons. Although, like Steve said, the fat one with the little wings is very cute. But
just give it a little pity face and I'm all about it.
It's a little scarier, and that makes me wonder if like the target audience is the same audience that is 15 years older.
I wish they would do that more. I don't know why they don't. Maybe it doesn't test well, or it actually wouldn't sell well. Do you remember when they the YouTube version of that unlicensed rated R Power Rangers came out.
Yeah.
Like that shit fucking rocks.
That was awesome.
And maybe because I'm a little twisted, I would love, and maybe you could just copy it and call everything something else. I thought about doing this, but like a rated R Pokemon.
Please let me out. It's so cramped in this little ball.
No,
I'm
you're
saying,
like
like-
fighting and it's like, Pikachu, get up. It's going to kill you. And
Like-
then like the Charizard eats it.
Like, yeah, they actually have them like mauling the trainers and stuff. And like, that would be so fun. Because Arya loves Pokemon. And I've been watching a lot of like the Pokemon we watched in the 90s when we were kids. And the show's terrible, right? Like it's a TVY7 just to sell the cards, kind of like, here we are. And
Watching it now, you're like, oh my God, Brock is a predator.
there's a lot of that. But I was like, God, that'd be so fucking cool. Like the premise, it's not very animal rights friendly maybe, but it's really cool. And the idea of what it could be would be neat. And everybody who really loved that show is in their late 30s now. Let's fucking do it, right?
Yeah.
But they never will.
No.
And I want it. And it's funny because I think all toddlers are like this, but Arya has this thing where if you start singing 9 times out of 10, it enrages her. Daddy, stop singing! But I cannot fucking help it. So I walk by her room and I have no choice but to, I want to be the very best. Like no one ever was. Daddy, stop it. Sorry. To catch them is my daddy. And like she gets really upset and just start crying and shit. To train them is my cause. And I have to finish it.
You're also crying like, I can't help it.
I don't know how to stop. Yeah.
That song's an option at the karaoke bar.
Oh, I would fucking belt it.
Word of warning, if you ever do, that song's a lot longer than you think it is.
Is it like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like extended version thing?
Yeah.
There's a whole nother verse I don't know about.
It's like 4 minutes long. You're like, how the fuck longer is that?
Whoa.
Yeah,
I regret choosing this.
I'm done.
If you do it in the opening in the main room with like the regular people, it just ends with you apologizing to everyone. Like, I didn't know it was this long. I'm sorry.
Have you experienced this?
Yep.
But everybody's having a good time for the first 40 seconds.
Oh, they're all singing along, and then after like the 4th verse, everyone's like, "What the hell?"
There's gotta be a truncated version.
Yeah, there has to be.
I want to sing the minute-long version and be like,
Pokemon.
yeah, Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all.
It's so
it's
good.
my destiny. Yeah, I want to do that. Rile the crowd up and get out. You
Yep.
know, it's an opener.
I love that a spoiler section is just Pokemon karaoke.
There's nothing else to say. You fucking know what it is. I'm glad you're. So I saw this movie. I don't know how your screenings were. I was seated by.
Ooh.
I was really pissed actually, and this is going to make me sound like Detective Mork, but I got my way I like to do things, and I like the communal aspect of watching movies, but also alone. You know, that's how I prefer it. But I'm also aware because of my schedule getting all fucked up. I went to a 7 p.m. opening night screening of How to Train Your Dragon, so I'm in a row by myself, loving it. That's how I design it. It's great. Then I can hear the mother and father and their 5 children in the row in front of me, which at AMC, it's like a full fucking wall.
Yeah.
And you can't even see them, which is great. I hear one of them go, Daddy, my seat doesn't work. It doesn't recline. And he's like, oh, fucking. And they fiddle with it for a minute. They move next to me to have work.
No.
So it's
Why
illegal.
does that kid need to lean back?
It's illegal.
Sir, there are assigned seats.
I was told. I will snitch on you to be able to stop this from happening.
Oh my God.
So it's all 7
Arrest
of them.
those parents.
But
They brought their
honestly,
kids to a kids movie.
Those sons of bitches.
it's actually a really cute, funny moment at the end when you if you've ever seen a fucking movie, you know he's fine, but if you're 5, think Hiccup's dead.
Yeah.
And he's like nestled inside Toothless's wings.
Yeah.
It's dead quiet and it's pushing in on the passed out dragon and everybody's crying and stuff. You hear the little girl go, what happened? And the mom go, just watch the movie. They'll tell you. But what happened? You're going to find out in a second. And that was really funny. But something I have never experienced before was happening to my right. There was like
the family to your left?
The family was to my left.
Okay.
To my right was a 24-ish year old woman and her boyfriend.
Oh no.
Who didn't speak English. But I guess did, because they laughed at all the jokes.
Okay.
Really loudly. Right? Like, you just gestured to all of me. Popcorn, right? Okay, that's fine. You're just having a great time. But he also had headphones on. And I don't know, maybe it's like Andy and he like, it's too loud at a theater and it like upsets him. So he had like just headphones sitting on to mute it a little bit.
Sure.
Or maybe he was playing things in it and is just a psychopath because he also was looking at his phone a lot.
I wonder if translation, maybe?
Oh, I'm an asshole. Maybe that's what it is.
Could be.
Yeah.
He was talking the entire movie. Not at full volume, which is weird enough. Like if you whisper, I want to punch you, but it's like, I'm not going to shush. I'm not a shusher. I have this like weird disorder where like I have a 1 and I have a 10 and Andy knows this about me. So if I shush you, I'm probably going to fight you. Cause like, you know what I mean? Like I'm just going to fucking start crying and punching you.
Yeah.
So I better say nothing. So I don't. But even full volume, would have alarmed me.
He's going to shoot us.
He was yelling.
He was yelling?
But in Spanish. So I don't know what he was saying.
Oh.
But let's just say it was English.
Like at the screen, like he was reacting to what was happening?
He was talking to his girlfriend.
Oh, he was talking.
But like really loud. It was crazy.
The fuck?
Like the entire movie. I can only imagine what he was saying. I think the dragon's pretty cool. I agree, honey. No, but like this, what they've really done here with the design, like, I don't know what he was saying.
He's got an adorable pity face.
And it was like, it was so crazy. So I started to snap like the third time and the theater's,
oh no.
the theater's dead quiet at this particular, but he had just screamed and I just couldn't help myself. I get it. And I understand now in retrospect that this is a theater full of children. But I just went, because he's literally in the seat right next to me. So I thought my alternative to confronting him is, Jesus fucking Christ, is what I said. Which I think like got the parents to my left like amped up enough to finally stand up to this guy. So the next time he did it, the mom went, shh.
Yeah.
And like she would do that every time he would exclaim, which was frequent. So I'm sat between the loud Spanish and then the shh. And to this movie I don't like anyway. Like, oh, this is fucking great. And this is after the bulb situation.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, I love movies, dude. I'm glad I chose my life's mission to get more people to come here.
In between these two folks.
So yeah. But you're right. It probably was like a translator. I know they do that for the hearing impaired, but they probably do that for different languages too.
Probably, yeah. So I put in headphones during in Dolby. I recently found out if you sit in the back, it's not so loud. When I saw Final Destination Bloodlines, that was in the Dolby theater, and it was so loud that like your ears would be ringing at the end.
It hurt.
Like it is
painful,
obscenely loud. And so I put in my AirPods and turned on noise canceling.
We're old.
Like this is overwhelming. Like I'm not having a good time. And so I always pack tooth flossers for my popcorn. I lately have started also packing like.
Oh my God. I thought you were going to follow that up with, so I've been putting those in my ear.
I bleed a little bit, but it's okay. I can't hear anything.
I stabbed them.
No, but I also pack like foam earplugs in case the sound is just absurd because can't deal.
Can't deal.
It is loud. I went at it was an 11:30 showing.
Did you bring the
first showing
kids?
of the day? No, it was just me.
Okay, so we all saw this solo.
We didn't have the boys.
Yeah.
When I went to see it, and we had some plans, and there was no way we could go take the boys as well. So it was just me, and I sat like on the very far left of an aisle, and it was the best. It was a good way to watch it because the only other people in that crowd were like grandparents.
Yeah.
And I don't think there was a single family in my showing, which was kind of wild because I was expecting it because summer's school's out.
There's no real safe time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was fully expecting it, but like really there was nobody in there but like me and some like grandparent looking people. I think there was what you were going to say. There was one family there, but the quote unquote kid was probably like 14.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, you didn't have to worry about that.
He had just finished cooking your hot dogs the other day. And
Berk came in and he's like, do you want to see this movie with me? Oh, don't even ask me. Jeez. But it was good.
I've never ridden a dragon before. I don't know.
Like, how do I even answer that?
How do you train it? I don't know.
Ugh.
He's like mad at the title.
You're being a real POV Karen right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so funny. Like we're like, what do we talk about spoilers? Like it's just I don't know. I do want to say kind of to go back to Annie's point, and this is more of a commentary on the original movie. I thought the original movie was really brave in showcasing.
Brave's a good movie.
It is a good movie, but like you never see a kids movie where the main character, a child, gets maimed.
And it's funny.
Yeah.
It's not funny, but like.
But what is in this movie? Because Gobber's like, well, most of him, and then he just has like a.
Well, that part's funny, but like the actual maiming's not funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, like the main character ends up getting a fake leg
prosthetic
that they've made to work with the harness that he and Toothless have sort of formed together, and it's just like a good metaphor for like, the two are greater than the.
Exactly. That's what's so beautiful about the original is he can't fly without his buddy, and they're from these different cultures, and it's great. It's beautiful.
And I just appreciate that about the story. And then seeing it on the live screen, it didn't, maybe it's just because I know it's happening, it didn't hit as hard, but like, I do appreciate that they kept that in there.
Yeah.
Because I think it is an important message that if like, even if you have to have an amputation, you're still like, kids shouldn't look down on anything.
Yeah.
Like that,
maybe
or
that's
be scared of
yeah,
that.
sure. Gobber certainly sees nothing wrong with it. He's like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah. You don't need all those anyway. It's redundant. You got two of those things. You only need one.
Exactly. No, I can't reiterate enough. They changed nothing. Like everything that you want to be in there is in there.
I didn't remember that part, so it hit for me.
Did
when
it?
I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it works. Like that scene when you think that quote unquote Hiccup's dead, even though I know what's happening, it still like works for me. Like I'm still getting a little like emotional, like, oh, did he make
again,
it?
with John Powell's score, like I got a little choked up at times. It's just nothing compared to the original that just came out 15 years ago.
That's kind of maddening too, that it's only been 15 years. That's not a lot.
Yeah, you can't possibly argue that it's for a different audience or to expand this story because it's a really popular movie from pretty recently, you know. But anyway, hope you liked it. I know the family next to me, other than our debacle, really seemed like they had a good time. The kids they seemed to be engaged the entire movie, even though it's 2 hours. And
yeah. And
so
you will like it, I think. If you like the original, you will like this movie.
Yeah.
Because it is the same thing.
Well, those are our thoughts on How to Train Your Dragon 2025. Next week, we're going to be talking about 28 years later on the main feed. But we are still covering Game of Thrones. Season 6 starts this week. And Firefly over on the Patreon feed, along with some bonus movies. And it looks like Pan's Labyrinth is the winner later this month. And what is our other chosen film? I keep forgetting.
It's Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch, that's right. Yeah, and Sucker Punch. So,
and also, as you're listening to this, tickets for our live show, 2 Streaming Things 2 Live, is available for the public. It happens this Monday. And just so you know, if you're on the fence, like, oh, do I get a ticket or do I not? Currently, general admission pricing is under early bird prices. It's only $40 a ticket. And after this week, they go to their normal price, which is $50. So be sure to get a ticket this week to claim the cheaper price and to make sure you get a seat at the table.
2 Streaming Things 2 Live is happening.
Also, VIP tickets are very limited right now. We've sold out. We actually sold out the original number that we had, so we increased we added 10 more tickets to be purchased. So, VIP tickets, if you really want those, you have to get them soon because they are going quick.
Get them. It's probably 10 a.m. Eastern Standard that those go on sale, I think. So you want to be quick. So yeah, excited to see everyone again, all the people that are coming for the first time on November 7th. But yeah, thank you for listening to the show. That's all the time we have for right now. We've got to go return some videotapes. My name is Kit.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Steve.
And this was Streaming Things, streaming How to Train Your Dragon.
Happy streaming.